Welcome back, guys, at Chills and Thrills. Before starting, make sure to subscribe and like the video. Now let's start. One night in June 1978, a 22-year-old single mother of two kids named Yaiko Taguchi was working her usual shift in Tokyo, Japan's Kaibara Hollywood. After finishing her shift right at around midnight, Yaiko left the Kaibara through the front door and was never seen again. At first, nobody thought that anything serious had happened to Yaiko. In fact, several years later, her manager was questioned, and he claims that everyone thought she had quit when she failed to show up. At around that time, there had been rumors going around that several North Korean spies were working undercover in Japan, looking to abduct innocent citizens and hold them as hostages back in North Korea. However, this was seen by the Japanese government as nothing more than a conspiracy theory that couldn't possibly be true. Sadly, the missing case of Yaiko went cold, and it wasn't until almost a decade later that a clue to her whereabouts emerged following a disturbing chain of events. In November 1987, as South Korea was preparing to host the Olympics in the capital city of Seoul, a Korean Airlines plane blew up in mid-air as it was flying over the Andaman Sea, taking the lives of 115 innocent people during the investigation. It was revealed that two North Korean agents, acting under direct orders from the North Korean government, had planted a bomb in an overhead storage compartment before getting off at the first layover in Abu Dhabi. As the authorities were closing in on the two suspects, one of them took his life with a cyanide-laced cigarette, but the South Korean government was able to arrest the other agent responsible for the attack. During her interrogation, it was revealed that she had been training for that mission for 6 years, and that for 3 of them, she had been paired with Yaiko Taguchi, who had taught her how to speak and act like a Japanese woman so she could fly under the radar. As it was later revealed, Yaiko wasn't the only woman who had been kidnapped by the North Korean government. As of today, 17 Japanese citizens have been officially confirmed by the Japanese government as having been abducted by North Korea from 1977 to 1983. Disturbingly, a lot of them were shamelessly kidnapped in the middle of the day and thrown on a boat to North Korea. You might think that the victims were involved in something shady that put them on the North Korean government's radar, but the investigations actually suggest that most of them were average citizens who just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. One woman was captured while she was walking to a knitting class, and 2 others were kidnapped on a vacation to Europe. Another one, a 13-year-old girl, was taken as she was walking back home from school. Some of these victims were kidnapped for identity theft purposes, while others, like Yaiko, were forcefully brought to North Korea to teach the Japanese language and culture to North Korean spies. After the kidnappings were confirmed beyond the shadow of a doubt, the North Korean government had no choice but to come forward and apologize. But they claimed that only 5 of the 17 kidnapping victims were still alive. Over the next few years, the North Korean government would send what they would claim to be the cremated remains of some of the deceased victims back to Japan. However, as DNA testing would quickly reveal, pretty much all of the remains were fake, leading the Japanese government to believe that many more of the kidnapping victims were still alive. To this day, the North Korean government has stuck to its story, claiming that there are only 13 kidnapping victims and that the ones who are still alive were sent back safely to Japan. In the 1970s, journalist Seymour Hersh published an article in the New York Times accusing the CIA of orchestrating multiple assassination attempts on foreign and American politicians who were considered anti-war dissidents. These allegations spurred the U.S. Senate to launch an investigation into covert abuses by the CIA. The inquiry revealed 14 reports outlining major misconduct, not only by the CIA, but also by the FBI and NSA. Among the findings were crimes such as opening and resealing U.S. citizens' private mail over several years, and illegally surveilling Black Power activists. Despite the seriousness of these revelations, one claim stood out as particularly shocking. A conspiracy theory alleged that the CIA had developed a pistol capable of firing a poison dart over 300 feet, instantly killing its target while leaving no trace of the cause of death. Astonishingly, this theory was later proven true. The weapon, dubbed the heart attack, was part of MKNA-OMIA CIA program, focused on creating tools for biological warfare. In 1975, CIA Director William Colby testified before a Senate committee investigating the agency's activities. During his testimony, Colby disclosed that the CIA had been researching and developing biological weapons since World War II, initially as part of a plan to eliminate German leaders, with research continuing long after the war. Colby described the heart attack gun as nearly silent, powered by a battery housed in its handle. The dart it fired was designed to feel like nothing more than a mosquito bite upon impact. To avoid detection, the dart contained a shellfish toxin that caused death by mimicking a natural heart attack, leaving forensic pathologists unable to determine foul play. Additionally, the dart was engineered to dissolve inside the body, leaving only a faint red mark where it entered. When asked whether the gun had ever been used operationally, Colby claimed it was only tested in experiments, with no records of use in actual assassinations. As part of the Senate investigation, the CIA was compelled to hand over the heart attack gun to the committee. Photographs from the hearings show committee members examining the device, as Colby answered questions about its design and capabilities. The weapon's existence seemed more suited to a spy thriller, yet its reality was a chilling reminder of the lengths intelligence agencies were willing to go. The hearings marked the only time the heart attack gun was shown to the public. To this day, its fate remains unknown, raising unsettling questions about what other technologies the CIA might have developed since the 1970s. Without the investigation, potential applications remain a troubling mystery. For centuries, sailors have recounted tales of monstrous waves on the open sea, claiming to witness walls of water towering over 100 feet high. These accounts were often dismissed as exaggerations or sailors' yarns, with no one present to verify their claims. In 1826, a French captain reported seeing a 108-foot wave in the Indian Ocean, supported by the testimonies of 3 sailors. However, when he returned to the mainland, the scientific community ridiculed him, holding firm to the belief that waves couldn't exceed 30 feet. Despite dozens of similar claims over the years, the lack of concrete evidence relegated these stories to the realm of myths and conspiracy theories. This skepticism persisted until New Year's Day in 1995, when the Dropner platform in the North Sea recorded an 84-foot wave using a wave height sensor. This groundbreaking measurement marked the first definitive proof of rogue waves, also known as monster waves or freak waves. The discovery forced scientists to reconsider the dismissed accounts of sailors from previous centuries, as well as the grim possibility that countless sailors lost to the sea may have fallen victim to these massive waves. The Dropner wave ignited a surge of scientific interest, with researchers estimating that, at any moment, there could be as many as 10 rogue waves active across the world's oceans. Today, rogue waves are defined as those at least twice the height of surrounding waves in a given area. Scientists believe these colossal waves form when 2 wave crests align perfectly, creating a single, towering wave capable of sinking even large ships and oil rigs. Interestingly, rogue waves aren't confined to oceans, they can also occur in large lakes. In 1975, the SS Edmund Fitzgerald sank in Lake Superior under mysterious circumstances, leading researchers to theorize that it might have been struck by 3 consecutive rogue waves, a phenomenon known as the 3 Sisters. The first wave destabilizes the vessel, the second crashes onto its deck, and the third overwhelms it entirely. If accurate, this explanation could shed light on the unexplained disappearances of numerous large ships across the globe, though proving it remains a challenge. It's hard to imagine now, but there was a time when gorillas were considered mythical creatures, lumped in with cryptids like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster. Until a few centuries ago, gorillas were viewed as animals of legend, rumored to exist, but without any concrete proof. Early Western accounts came in the 1500s when an English explorer, Andrew Battelle, captured by the Portuguese off the coast of West Africa, described disturbing, ape-like creatures prowling around his campfire. Lacking any frame of reference, he depicted them more as monsters than animals, sparking a wave of sensationalism in Europe. For the next 2 centuries, explorers returning from Africa fueled the intrigue with illustrations and reports of these bloodthirsty beasts, which were often considered exotic curiosities. Gorillas were regarded as ferocious mythical monsters, akin to how we might describe Bigfoot today. It wasn't until 1847 that real evidence emerged when American naturalist Thomas S. Savage found a gorilla skull in Africa, marking the first scientific proof of their existence. This discovery spurred numerous expeditions, including those of French explorer Paul du Chaillu, who confirmed the existence of gorillas between 1855 and 1859. Du Chaillu described them in similarly fearsome terms, cementing their monstrous reputation in the public imagination. This perception shifted in the late 19th century, when a live baby gorilla affectionately named Pongo was brought to Liverpool, delighting crowds with its playful demeanor and overturning assumptions of gorillas as savage beasts. Later discoveries, like the 1902 killing of 2 mountain gorillas by German explorer Robert von Beringe, helped the public grasp the reality of these majestic animals. Interestingly, gorillas are not alone in their journey from myth to fact. Creatures like the kangaroo platypus and giant squid were once dismissed as hoaxes, reminding us how much of the natural world still lies undiscovered. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments and subscribe to the channel.